the game is clear. He's a champ when all else disappears. Rally the team with a wink and a cheer. He's the leader that everyone fears. Quickly, it's a real heater. Once my friend, he's a locker room leader. In the chaos, he's the center, turning us into believers.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday night. It is 6 p.m. We are coming to you an hour earlier tonight because the Raw Patrol and Turnbuckle Studios is going live with Raw at 7 p.m. That's right, we are going an hour earlier. So we got moved up an hour earlier, and I, for one, am excited. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming off of WrestlePalooza weekend. And whatever form of wrestling and sports entertainment you chose to enjoy, whether it was WWE or something else, I hope you had an absolute blast with whatever show you watched. Let's get right into it, because last week we opened the show with John Cena coming out delivering a heartfelt promo, really realizing now it is really starting to sink in, ladies and gentlemen, that his time in WWE and in the ring is really, really winding down. Mr. Best, good evening to you, sir. Great to see you. Thank you for stopping in as always, and I look forward to your insight. So John Cena delivers a promo, and it's really, really sinking in. For those of us that have had a chance to be a part of John Cena's farewell tour, whether that's just watching on TV, whether that's being at a live event, whether it's a Raw, a SmackDown, like the friend of the show, the Bulkster, who was at WrestlePalooza as well as at the Royal Rumble, along with our friend Chris Parrish, myself being at the Elimination Chamber for the heel turn that really didn't go anywhere. This is an emotional time for all of us. We are losing a true legend. And there was one moment really for me over the weekend at WrestlePalooza that stood out. And I'm not going to cover any of the matches from WrestlePalooza tonight. But The Undertaker coming out to announce Stephanie McMahon as the first inductee into the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. This is huge, monumental. Congratulations to Stephanie. One of my favorite all-time female superstars. And yes, I know she is the boss's daughter, or was the boss's daughter. She is, of course, married to Paul Triple H Levesque, but I couldn't think of anyone more deserving. Congratulations, Steph. We love you. Anyways, on to last week. Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez. This match I had pegged going in as my match of the night. And it was getting there. It was close. It was well contested. Two young female superstars who are showing why they are the future of women's wrestling. I could not have picked two better females to really step up. What I need, though, now is a little bit more aggression and focus from Lyra. She's been directionless until last week in that match. This is the former Women's Intercontinental Champion, the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion, and now you've got nothing for her? She is one that I do believe should be getting pushed now into the main event picture, and I would love to see that. Roxanne Perez has flourished in her role now within the Judgment Day, coming in as the replacement for Liv Morgan. but she continues to show each and every week why she is the prodigy. I have been a fan of hers going back to Ring of Honor when she won the first Ring of Honor Women's Championship. And I believe that by the end of 2026, Roxanne Perez will wear the Women's Championship. In fact, I would not be surprised if by the end of 2026, we have Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria battling for that championship with Stephanie Vaquer, with the Rhea Ripleys, with the Io Skies, because we all know how well these women work together. Now, Raquel Rodriguez did get ejected for some interference in this match, which did lead to Lyra picking up the win. But then there was, of course, the attack and a very, very conflicted and odd Bayley came out as she was hugging everybody back to that gimmick, but never got in the ring to actually truly help Lyra. So it was very, very intriguing to see how that went down and what that direction is for Bayley. We did see later in the show, Lyra went to go and thank her. Heard Bayley arguing back and forth with somebody. So instead of knocking, she just went in and Bayley absolutely snapped on her, showing a completely different side. So are we getting a Randy Orton version of Bayley hearing these voices, or is this a conflicted Bayley trying to come to terms with who she is and what she deserves? Either way, I am intrigued by what Bayley is bringing and what is going to happen here with this Lyra Valkyria situation. But I do think that this is the time now to put that rocket ship onto a Lyra and put her into a direction and potentially a program with one Stephanie Vaquer, or move her to SmackDown and let her challenge for the Women's U.S. Championship. Or, of course, challenge Tiffany Stratton. Up next, one of Bubba's favorite matches, and Bubba is on assignment tonight with the Shoot Job. We had Penta and Kofi Kingston. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this was very, very intriguing, because if you remember about a month ago, Penta went through and he fought Grayson Waller. He fought Xavier Woods and he beat them. Then he went up against Kofi Kingston and lost. Now you're playing forward a couple of months. There was some six-man tag in there afterwards. And we're going to get to that again a little bit later on. We got that rematch of Penta versus Kofi, with Penta coming out on top this time, although the New Day did try to interfere. And when I say New Day, I do include Grayson Waller in that. And it was a springboard Mexican destroyer that he used to finish this match off. And just, wow. I mean, again, I've never been the biggest Kofi Kingston fan, but is there anything that these two guys cannot do in that ring? Penta seems to have incredible chemistry and magic with everybody. We know he's working on his learning of the English language, but his cohesion, his chemistry, his in-ring communication is above reproach. And so I look forward to seeing Penta's matches each and every Monday. Mystic Flora, great to see you. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you find the show? I see you're watching on Twitch. So thank you. Flora, I am talking about Monday Night Raw from last week. And we're going to get into a preview for tonight here in just a little while. Up next, another very, very intriguing match. as El Grande Americano defeated Dragon Lee. Now, this match was not without its confusion, with El Grande picking up a submission win. And although AJ Styles tried to help, because we saw well, thank you, Flora, who says she randomly found our channel on Instagram, saw our account, and decided to come onto the YouTube channel, and then she found our Twitch and thought she would pop in. It is very interesting. This is something that I am a huge fan of. Please stay tuned at 7 p.m. I'll give you the link here in a few minutes, Flora. Come on over and check out another show we have at 7 p.m. called The Raw Patrol, where we are giving live reaction and analysis to all the goings-on of WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. AJ Styles did try to come out and help, as there was another El Grande Americano who came out to assist, which is something that we have seen, and then they sort of got away from it. But then, all of a sudden, a third. Flora, I don't know about the gaming reels on the Instagram. That would be up to the people on Turnbuckle Studios who have Instagram. I personally don't. We would love to have you come in and join us. And I'll show you how you can join us here as well in just a little bit. Thank you very much, Flora. We greatly appreciate that. We had a third El Grande Americano show up to assist with the win. And then they did the Spider-Man meme where all three Grandes were pointing at each other. And it's absolutely intriguing. Now, we've heard some intriguing names potentially behind these characters. So are we going to get to see them unmasked at some point and see them become a new group? Or are we going to get a Grande faction? Our next podcast coming up at 7 p.m., Flora, is the Raw Patrol, which is going to be WWE Monday Night Raw live analysis and reaction as we watch the show. Up next, this ended up becoming the match of the night. Stephanie Vaquer and Kairi Sane. Stephanie in her first action in a couple of weeks, leading into her title match on Saturday at WrestlePalooza with Io Sky. Flora, again, please come in and join us. It will be on Netflix at 7 p.m. Come in and join us. But this ended up being the match of the night. Stephanie Vaquer using the FBV. Asuka did show up and attempt to attack after the match, with Io Sky coming down to make the save and show some respect to her opponent for WrestlePalooza. And did those two ever knock it out of the park Saturday night? But I digress. We will cover that a little bit later on the Raw Patrol. We had CM Punk and AJ Lee in a face-to-face confrontation with Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. As much as we enjoyed the back and forth, it really wasn't didn't involve Punk or Rollins all that much. It was more so Becky and AJ verbally jousting, with AJ barely able to get a word in. As you did get, of course, some shenanigans at the end of it. And all that led to a manhandle slam from Becky to AJ as Seth was retreating, and of course Punk running over to check on his wife. Again, we will cover that match a little more later on the Raw Patrol. We also had another major match here, as we had Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed against LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. Now, this match was very, very, I'm going to go with conflicted for Jimmy. He had already told LA Knight, no, I can't be your partner because I'm not going to get in the middle, and I'm not going to be in the middle of whatever is going on with you and my brother. So you have to find a new partner. Jay then told Jimmy in the locker room, no, you have to tell LA Knight, I can't partner with you. You can't do this. Which I don't know if that's what led Jay. I didn't get to actually hear all of the audio. Flora, I'm going to be posting some ads with our schedule, with every show you can see every week. Very, very shortly, as well as an ad for some help. But stay tuned because that is coming up. But anyways, this match ended up becoming absolutely fantastic. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed did end up pulling out a clean victory in this match, which was really, really surprising. It didn't go to the shenanigans that we saw on Saturday, which, again, we will cover a little bit later on. But then afterwards, Jay and LA Knight continued with their little feud. And because the previous week, Jay had hit LA Knight with the super kick or the Uso splash or a spear, whatever, LA Knight hit him with the BFT as we went off the air. But ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time that I show you each and everything we have going on here at the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program and ways you can join us. So ladies and gentlemen, just remember, if you want to help us, we want your help.
The Turnbuckle Affiliation Program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday we go TNA when we brace for Impact at 7:55 p.m. Eastern. Friday we secure all details as we answer the call for the SmackDown security detail at 8 p.m. Eastern. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be part of the shows and join. The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at carlcarafel.redbubble.com.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get your break in podcasting, content creation, help us out behind the scenes, turnbucklestudios.org is the place to go. There's a button that you can click where you can join us. You can meet the team, myself, Chris Parrish, Bubba Duke, Chris Best, Carl Carafel, and then we can sit down as a collective and figure out where you're going to be best to help us. You can watch our latest weekly episodic shows, including this one. You can hit the shop button and it will redirect you to carlcarafel.redbubble.org. So ladies and gentlemen, again, turnbucklestudios.org is the hottest place to be here on the interwebs. Now, on to tonight, and we have a very, very intriguing show as we do get the fallout from WrestlePalooza. And as we found out a little bit earlier today, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, will open the show. We know he is now set to face off against Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel, with neither title on the line, but however, the Crown Jewel Championship is. What are we going to get? Are we going to get a verbal spat between the two, or are we going to see some respect between these two? Because we know they have had the trilogy of matches back when Seth was a heel before, but we also saw Seth come through when Cody was in that feud and locked in on the WWE Championship with Roman Reigns, and Seth wanted to defend the title against him at WrestleMania. Are we going to get the respect, or are we going to get more shenanigans? This is going to be very, very intriguing, ladies and gentlemen, and I cannot wait to see what is going to happen here. But Cody Rhodes, the WWE Undisputed Champion, opening Monday Night Raw tonight. We are going to get some fallout from, of course, the mixed tag match between CM Punk, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, and Seth Rollins that happened this past Saturday at WrestlePalooza. As I'm sure we all know by now, CM Punk and Becky Lynch CM Punk and AJ Lee won the match. What is going to happen from here? Does this put AJ Lee into a contender spot for the Women's Intercontinental Championship? Is that something we are going to see a little bit more? We know that CM Punk wants gold. Is CM Punk somehow going to find himself in between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins? Or does CM Punk have somebody else in mind? Or does somebody have CM Punk targeted? Again, we have to wait and see. Very, very intriguing where we go from here. And I wonder if Becky Lynch is, of course, going to try and run from AJ. This is going to be very, very intriguing. We are also going to hear from our new Women's World Heavyweight Champion, La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer. And what a match she had at WrestlePalooza with Io Sky. This match absolutely stole the show. And the respect shown between the two at the end of the match was incredible. We will hear from La Primera. What does she have to say? And who is her next challenger? who is going to come out and lay that challenge down. Will it be a Rhea Ripley? Will it be Io Sky looking for a rematch? Will it be somebody new? I am intrigued and I cannot wait to find out. Yes, Flora, I am back. We are into the preview section now for tonight. We were also announced 2 matches. And earlier in the show, I talked about the Penta versus Kofi Kingston match, and we had a 6-man tag a few weeks ago with Penta and the War Raiders teaming up to take on the New Day. Tonight, we get that 6-man tag team rematch in a no disqualification match, which means anything goes. I almost wish it was a Viking rules match like we saw before with the War Raiders and the New Day, but when their roles were reversed and the War Raiders were the heels. But it will be the New Day and Grayson Waller versus Penta and the War Raiders. What chicanery do they have in store for us tonight? And just how far over the top does this match go? In her return to the ring tonight, we get Bayley and Roxanne Perez. And this, again, ladies and gentlemen, is going to perhaps be the match of the night. We haven't seen Bayley in a while. And I'm okay with that because now we're going to figure out what this Bayley, we might get some more answers as to what this Bayley's direction is, or we might get more questions about who this Bayley is. What is this conflict that she has going on within her? And where do we go from here? Is Lyra going to get involved? I'm sure Raquel Rodriguez is going to get involved. Where do we go from here? I cannot wait to figure this out. Other superstars advertised for tonight, before we get into our last little match here, we are going to hear from, of course, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Rhea Ripley, LA Knight, and, Jey Uso. Do we see Jey and Jimmy? Do we just see Jey? What do we see here? What do we expect from these people? What do we expect from Rhea Ripley? Is she going to come out and challenge Stephanie Vaquer? Do we get a little more into her situation with Io Sky and Asuka? I'm leaning towards the latter because I think that is going to be where we go next. With Crown Jewel coming up in Perth, I believe that is the direction we're going to go. I think that is where we are going to see Rhea Ripley and Asuka, if we don't see Rhea Ripley and Io Sky team up to take on the Kabuki Warriors. LA Knight. Very, very intriguing individual because he's always been that, as over as he is that in-between guy who walks the walk, talks the talk, does the heel, does the baby face, and everybody loves him. But he's the anti-hero. He is what CM Punk used to be. He is that anti-hero. And we saw some interesting things as he was named the special guest referee this past Saturday at WrestlePalooza. And we know his history with Jey Uso didn't play a factor in that match, although it very well could have. Do we get maybe a handshake and say, okay, let's let bygones be bygones? Do we get a challenge saying, okay, let's settle this once and for all? Where do we go with those gentlemen? I have seen some of your chats, Flora, and we greatly appreciate them. So thank you. We do greatly appreciate all interaction from all of our fans and all of our people watching or listening to the show, whether you're getting this here or in podcast form. As well, we are going to get some fallout tonight from the Vision versus the Usos rivalry, which is Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as the Vision versus Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. Do we see Jimmy and Jay move on from that? Do we see Braun and Bronson go and now start challenging for the tag team championships? This is very, very intriguing. Believe it or not, I had Jay pegged as actually walking out and turning heel at the pay-per-view or at the PLE this past Saturday. I am glad to say that it didn't happen, but I'm wondering if it's coming. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be very, very intriguing. I mean, as I said earlier, we have Cody Rhodes. We have the fallout from CM Punk and AJ Lee. We have these two matches that have already been announced, and where do we go from here? Are we going to get... Something tells me, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to get a massive... And I'm going to go with a six-man tag team main event. Somehow I see the Vision attacking Cody Rhodes with the Usos coming out to make the save. I think we are going to see Cody team with the Usos against the Vision in a six-man tag. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's a little bit early, but I really don't have a whole lot more to go through. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please, again, always remember the world is better with you in it. And from all of us here at the Locker Room Breakdown and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
A Turnbuckle Affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now. And we want you to tap in.